Welcome to the latest episode of the B Movie Club. I'm your host Kevin. This week we'll be discussing the 1985 horror classic, Re-Animator, starring Barbara Crampton, Jeffrey Combs. The list goes on, these household names. In all honesty, if you watch a little horror in the mid to late 80s, you might recognize some of these actors. Then again, you might not. What can I tell you? If you're joining us for the first time, the B Movie Club. Each week we discuss a certain forgotten classic or guilty pleasure. And you can send in your comments, questions, favorite quotes, favorite scenes, and we'll discuss it on the show. You can reach us at the original B Movie Club on our Facebook page. Be sure to click the thumbs up and you'll get all of our latest updates and funny comments. Also subscribe on our page on YouTube, KD9575. It's free, so I don't know what's stopping you. Also, you can reach me on Twitter at KD9575. That's my initials and my birthday, in case you want to get me a gift. Thank you. So, 1985 Re-Animator. Herbert West is a medical student who was essentially forced out of Europe. He's now attending Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. He's new to the school. There he befriends another medical student named Dan Kane. Herbert's a little strange, we discover, very early on. His professor in Switzerland flipped out and essentially exploded and died. He's got interesting theories on how long the brain will live after death. Common belief is 6 to 12 minutes. He says that's baloney. There's some friction between Herbert and one of the professors, Dr. Hill, who Herbert accuses of plagiarism of his old professor in Switzerland's work. So there you go. There's all this stuff going on. Very early on, we figure out, spoiler alert, Herbert has discovered a formula which can bring the dead back to life. Okay, he's trying to conquer death. However, as you might imagine, when you bring back people from the grave, they're a little bit different. You know, their personality's a little different. He's trying to find the right combination of the freshness of the body, you know, how soon they died, with the right amount of the formula. It's all very technical. He manages to enlist Dan's help in this unwittingly. Dan, of course, is dating the dean's daughter. They're secretly seeing each other. When he discovers Herbert's, basically his formula, he rushes to the dean and tells him what he's seen. The dean quickly tries to throw Herbert out of the college and tries to cut off Dan's student aid, so he won't be able to attend college either. And he doesn't want him seeing his daughter. So there you go. I don't want to tell you everything that goes on, but they sneak into the school, sneak into the morgue. By the way, I'm assuming they have security guards at morgues and hospitals. Fine. But these security guards often sit there smoking a cigar, reading adult magazines. I don't know, is that pretty standard? And then run to the bathroom every 5 minutes? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyway, they managed to bring back a body from beyond the grave, who of course flips out and starts attacking them and actually murders the dean. Spoiler alert. Now they try to bring back the dean, and he's a little crazy. Meanwhile, the evil Dr. Hill, he discovers the formula. He discovers what Herbert West has accomplished, and tries to blackmail him. Tries to steal the formula from him. Says, I'm going to claim all the credit, and there's nothing you can do about it. So Herbert, spoiler alert, quickly kills Dr. Hill by chopping his head off with a shovel. And because he's a scientist, he's like, hey, I've never tried this before. He successfully reanimates the head and the body separately. So the body's walking around the head, and the head's sitting in a dish. And for some reason, Dr. Hill is now basically fully aware. He's basically the same guy he was before. I guess a little more evil, but not the crazy lumbering zombies that the other guys were. So there you go. So from beyond the grave, he still steals the formula and runs off And he starts building an army of zombies and good stuff. So there you go. I don't want to spoil everything, like I said, although I did spoil quite a bit. If you haven't seen it, it is streaming instantly on Netflix to this day, so please rush out and see it. I highly recommend it. The story behind this, Stuart Gordon, who's the director, was hanging out with some buddies of his and talked about how, you know, they've been making vampire movies, Dracula movies over and over again. They really haven't remade the whole Frankenstein thing lately. So, at that point, one of his buddies said, hey, have you read Herbert West, Re-Animator, written by the famed American horror novelist H.P. Lovecraft? He checks it out, likes it, and originally envisions it as a play. So he starts doing a play. And then he says, you know, this could be a great TV show. Starts writing a script for that. And eventually it becomes the movie Re-Animator. And it rocketed Jeffrey Combs, who plays Herbert West, Barbara Crampton, who plays the Dean's daughter. Yeah, you know them, don't you? No, we don't. And actually kicked off Stuart Gordon's movie career. After this, he went on to do From Beyond, another movie based upon H.P. Lovecraft novel, and used a lot of the same cast. So there you go. Not streaming on Netflix. I'm gonna get to that though. Make no mistake. Things I can tell you about this movie. The special effects guy, who had worked on many horror movies up to this point, said the most blood he'd ever used in a movie was 2 gallons. This movie he used 24 gallons of blood. If you haven't seen this, don't watch it on a full stomach. They go out of their way to be disgusting as they can be. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was watching it. I'm a hardened horror movie vet. Little rough. That's all I'm gonna tell you. So don't sit down with your children to watch it. If Granny's visiting, maybe watch it another night. You know what I'm saying? The Girl Scouts are visiting. If a Jehovah's Witness knocks on the door, pause it. Don't let them see the horror that you're witnessing, okay? Take it from me, okay? What's interesting is the original zombie that they bring back from the grave, who's a big muscular guy, is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's stunt double. So there you go. I mean, as far as I know, he didn't have an Austrian accent. Of course, he just did a lot of rule of thumb is if you're going to bring somebody back from the grave, try not to do it for like car crash victims or burn victims. I mean, I don't know, somebody died in their sleep. Is that too much to ask? Come on, come on. Another thing I found kind of interesting is that throughout the entire movie, the evil Dr. Hill, played by David Gale, I was like, is he wearing a toupee? As you might imagine, I'm very, very aware of such things. I'm hyper vigilant. But throughout the movie, you see, like, when he's just the head, you see the body kind of carrying the head around by the hair. So I'm like, okay. Essentially what was happening is the movie was so low budget, okay, they couldn't afford to match the hair on the dummy head to the actual hair of the actor. So instead, they had the actor shave his head and had him wear the same hair that was going to be on the dummy head. Now that's cheap, let me tell you. Another thing you may not notice is there's actually a scene of a Talking Heads poster, you know, that band from the 80s? Coincidence that throughout the movie there's a talking head? Movie's basically a comedy, but it's also kind of a horror. I mean, and the gore level of it makes it so that only freaks like myself would find humor in it, so be advised. It is still, like I said earlier, it is still streaming instantly on Netflix. It actually holds a 92% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, if you can imagine that. Roger Ebert actually gave it thumbs up. He liked it. There's a lot to it. Again, it is very, very, very loosely based upon the original short story by H.P. Lovecraft. I've read it. Story's great. If you're into that kind of stuff, I highly recommend that as well. I'm going to go back. Moving on to the comedy genre. And we're going to do the 1970s classic Car Wash, starring Richard Pryor and George Carlin. It is streaming instantly on Netflix, so go ahead and check it out and send me your questions, comments, favorite teens, favorite quotes. Again, you can reach me on our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club. You can reach me on YouTube, KD9575, and on Twitter, KD9575. Please tell your friends to check us out. I'd really appreciate it. As you know, I end every episode with a totally out of context quote. And here it is. Who's going to believe a talking head? Go get a job in a sideshow. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we'll be doing Car Wash. Tell a friend, and be well.